Hey, yo, it's your boy Pac-Man. I'm back at it again with another deck profile for you.
Sir.
From the boy HunkSolo,
We here.
aka Charlie from One Peach.
Yep.
Yesterday we were on the road. We
Peach.
got back. We got the One Peach Don sleeves. I don't have any. Lex, fix it. I need mine now for the free. I'm just playing. I gotta earn them. But yeah, so as promised, I said I'll get the deck profile to you guys. So we got Hunk here, Mr. Solo himself. Let's talk about it. Why do we play Shanks? How is your day going? All that good stuff.
Day's pretty good, man. Rewarded myself actually today with my last wanted poster that I needed because I won with my boy Shanks.
Crazy. You
yes,
got
sir.
the Shanks wanted with those
Yes,
Shanks.
I had to.
All right, you said you were missing those, so I do remember you saying that.
Yeah, and white Shanks. It's very straightforward deck. It's red. It's strong. It's only gotten better. And listen to the pod for a little more, a little more info on why I chose the deck.
Video is uploaded.
Reasonings. Yeah, it's uploaded on the channel, and go check it out.
For sure. All right, well, let's go ahead and dive into the deck profile. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, we'll start with the 2Ks, man. Obviously, the best red 2K ever to exist. I'm gonna miss this once block 1 gets rotated out.
Yeah, man, I'm gonna be big sad about that. Marco's dead.
But for Otama, obviously standard 2K. The best combo potential here when you go second, especially in the mirror, they Beckman something on 7, 8. You just Otama Beckman, they're Beckman, and you are so up. You know what I mean? So obviously best red 2K. The second choice is this, another amazing red 2K, especially in Shanks. Makes you pseudo 6K leader, or if they swing 6K at you, you can just leader. And block, right? Also late game, you can stack it up with Lucky Roo and any other blockers you have to go a little wider.
For sure.
Blockers always good. And then the last minute edition, I did have 3 of the new Sanji Diable from the new starter, but I played around 30 games, never used it once, never came up once. So I was playing with Orion Watson, Mr. Always Legend, and I decided that this Sanji was better, so I'm running 12 2Ks total.
And this helps with the Blackbeard matchup, right?
So much, man. You go second, you drop this on curve, and you just build up your board a little more. You can take your life, get you closer to that Rad Beam. Very strong card, applies that pressure to Blackbeard. If they don't, pop it, you can play a Rush Luffy. Use that Rest of Dawn, put it on him, swing even higher, right? It definitely applies the pressure on Blackbeard. Very, very good card. Definitely a lot better than the other Sanji, in my opinion. So 12 2Ks.
The other Sanji have its time. It's just not right now.
It's just not right now. I agree. But here we'll go to the lower end of the board that we're working with. 3 Nami searchers. I was at 4. My thing about the Nami searcher and why I like it so much, 1, obviously I'm running the Straw Hat package. But 2, at the end of the day, consistent decks win a lot for a reason, right? So even if I can add just a little bit of consistency to my deck, I see a huge value in that. Everybody says Shanks the deck that wants to play on curve and all that stuff. So that's why I'm at 3. It's something that I play a little earlier. If I can play it on 1 or 2, search for my mid game, or if I can play it later on in the match to search for a Rad Beam or to search for something I can close the game out with. Definitely very helpful. In 2 of my matches at 10 Dawn, I would play a Nami, search for a Rad Beam, play a Dragon or a Rayleigh for 8, and keep the 1 Dawn up for the Rad Beam, right?
Nice.
So definitely very valuable. Like I said, consistently goes a long way, even if it's just a little bit.
Right.
Of course, the 3-drop Sanji. Amazing card in Shanks because you get to draw more solutions for your later turns if they KO it. And going first, you drop this on 3, drop Luffy on 5, and then you swing for 3 6s on your second. On
that's always good. I like this
card 6 6 6. Heavy damage, and it if they don't want to KO it, then it sticks around for a little longer. But most people don't want to take that chance. One of my matches, the opponent Shanks didn't want to KO it and waited till his Beckman turn to trash it, which just gave me more time to build board for other stuff, right?
Gotcha.
So definitely a good card that I like a lot. 4 Lucky Roo, I think, is very strong in this meta. The card speaks for itself. It's a blocker that can KO something on there and basically negating 2 attacks, right? So paired at the end of the game with the 4-cost chopper blocker, and you got a couple blockers on there that can do some damage on the
And you start
crackback.
cooking.
Yeah. 2 ace. I was gonna run 3 ace, but I only had 2 in my box for the tournament. But I definitely love this card.
This was a last minute change.
Literally right before the first round, I was like, let me submit my deck, let me change it. Shout out to Los for testing with me, running a few reps before the tournament fired. I mean, this is the stickiest character. Definitely prefer this over Marco, because Marco, the pop is cool in theory, but doesn't have too many targets to hit.
Right.
And this just did so many work in so many matches, right? It's like a little mosquito, right? It's just bam, 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 every turn.
Yeah. Like
The 5-cost Luffy is definitely one of the MVPs of the deck. It's so much value. If they don't KO it, you just get so much return on your investment with this card. It does its job when you slam it down, and if they return it back to your hand, you can always just slam it down again. Worst case scenario, right? But definitely, one of the MVPs of the match. I recommend it minimum 3, especially if you're running the Straw Hat package.
Gotcha.
Going a little more towards the higher end. Do I have to explain? You know what I'm saying?
Good old Beckman, Mr. Trasher.
Mr. Trash Beckman, always a 4 of.
Yep.
So many clutch situations. My best and favorite play is what I said earlier with Otama. If they trash, your 6 Dom play with this, on your 8 you can Otama Beckman, their Beckman, and then you're up in the mirror.
And it's so good.
So good. For Rayleigh's,
This card's been broken since it came out.
it's just so good, man. The fact that it gives your opponent minus until the following turn just makes Shanks' leader ability even stronger. Basically buying you a turn where you can stabilize a little more,
Right.
and close out the game that way.
For sure.
2 Dragon, I think with the addition of the
Only 2.
with the addition of the 5-cost Luffy, I think the rush is there, right? Whether if you play this on 10, you got 9/9 for touchdown on leader. If you play Luffy on 10, you got 8/9.
Yeah.
So it's not too much of a difference, right?
Yeah.
But this card does a lot of damage against Blackbeard, right?
Right,
Being
right.
a 9K body and easier to defend, especially if you drop it on curve going 8 against
Seems
Blackbeard.
pretty disgusting.
But most of the time, against other matches, you probably want to play this. That's why I opted for 2 of, and obviously because I have more rush
Right.
in the 5-cost Luffy. For the big boys, we got 3 of the Rush Shanks. This guy did a lot of work this weekend too, just -1 to everything on the other side of the board, especially against decks that stay within the 6-7K range. The Rage I was versing, the ETGs were 6Ks after I dropped this, which made their threat way lower than the ETG threat normally is, right? So
And then we cut this too, because I know last set you were on 4.
yeah, I was on 4, but I figured 3 was enough because this is the 4th one that I added as far as rush goes. It won me one of the games where Dofi decided to block her up, and I was at 0 life. I mean, it's just a win condition, right? You draw it, you have a goal for the game, which is if you go to 0 or get your opponent to 0 as close as possible, and then you can swing out
You
and
just set them
win.
up for the kill.
Exactly. So, win condition, it speaks for itself, right?
Right.
This is the last 10 cost. Didn't use it at all, really. It still has merit against some green decks and yellow decks, but I would say this is pretty much
Pop Shanks.
the most flex card in the deck, right?
Gotcha.
This can be another 10 cost. This can be another dragon. Just play what you want, but this card has done a lot of work before. If you go second in the mirror, they drop a Rayleigh Dragon on 8 or on 9, and you're going second. Well, you just pop that Rayleigh Dragon and you're up at 10 cost,
Nice.
right? So it definitely gives you the advantage there, but only a 1 of, because there are situations where it doesn't do.
Now, this is what I'm excited about. I want to talk about this event spread that you're about to talk about.
Yes, sir. So
Because a lot of Shanks decks don't run a lot of events.
yeah,
So let's talk about it.
Rad Beam, the MVP, man. Combining it with the 2-cost Sanji, letting me go a little lower on life to get it activated. In Shanks, sometimes you want to draw more to find your solutions, right? And what it allows you to do, it allows you to take life a little earlier without being scared of dying, right? Because I'm at 2 life, but guess what? I also have Rad Beam.
Right.
And like I said, playing it early, you can pick it up with Nami, or if you need a little more defense, we play Nami in the late game. Well, guess what? You have a Rad Beam and an ACOS you can drop. It's still a Dawn you can use.
And what
with
I
it.
do like about Rad Beam in this particular leader with Shanks is because of his leader ability.
Yeah.
His leader ability doesn't. It's so one cost 5K event.
Essentially, yeah, and it messes up the opponent's math a lot.
Yeah.
Gets them thinking. Rad Beam, this and 5-cost Luffy were the biggest MVPs of the day for sure.
Nice.
Mulligan, again, another card that speaks for itself. Very strong. I was running it at 3 initially, but there were a lot of times where I just didn't have time to play it or room to play it because Shanks likes to use his Dawn to play the bodies, right? But 2 is definitely nice. With the trigger, you can trigger its main effect. I do think this card is better in Red Green Smoker because you can restand that Dawn to essentially being a little more Dawn efficient with it. But it does have a ton of merit in Shanks, popping blockers, popping other opponents' Beckmans and stuff like that, or even just something that's sideways, ACOS kids, anything, or the opponent's dragon, whatever it is. This is going to reduce it, and either your opponent's going to give you a ton of cards, or that target's going to die, right? So very good card. And then the last card of the deck is just one Bad Manners, just to kind of round it out. I do have a lot of bricks, and just a little bit, but this does help mitigate it a little bit. It is a straw hat, so it is searchable, just increasing the targets for the straw hat build. So that's it, man. All 50.
All 50. That's I appreciate the deck profile, man.
Of course.
You got any more shout outs?
Shout out One Peach.
Yeah.
Shout out Gubu Hobby.
Gubu Hobby, that's where we're at right now.
Yes, sir.
We got a lot of people, like as you can see, we got testing happening here, happening back there.
That's the card guys over there. Sponsored by Mr. Chris Vendor over there. Yeah, I did say it. I did call you out, sir. So yeah, Vendor Chris over there. But yeah, Gubu. Thank you, Coon, for letting us hang out. Gubu Hobby. You know what I'm saying?
So, until next time, sir, on Dragon Ball. Nah, I'm just playing. We're just looking for the One Piece, man. We're out of here. Peace.
Peace.